compete. I'm not trying to get big and huge, you know. I try to stay nice and symmetrical, still pleasing to the average person, so that when they come to a competition, they can actually say, I'd like to look like that. And it is easily obtainable. Not easily, but it is obtainable.
I see definitely a push for natural bodybuilding. I see guys that are training in the gym, they want to look cut, they want to look muscular, but they don't want to look huge.
First of all, it's the hardest sport in the world to turn pro at.
When you're professional, you can make money at it. And when you're amateur, you don't.
Basically, the difference is when you become a professional bodybuilder, you get paid for absolutely everything you do. Photo shoots, magazine covers, endorsements, guest posing, seminars, guest speaking, and even your prize money. And in an amateur, you don't get paid prize money.
In several weeks, Travis Wojcik and Stan McQuay will be competing in the bodybuilding competition, Musclemania. Open to amateurs as well as professionals. Its distinction is that it is a natural bodybuilding contest.
I qualified to become a pro back in May in New York, and I'm entering this competition as a pro. So it's going to be a little bit different, a little more pressure. Now there's money involved, so it's a lot more at stake here.
Being involved in a sport, you always want to rise to the highest ranks as possible in that sport. That's why you're in it, to rise to the top, to be the best. If I can become a pro being natural without taking the drugs and being healthy and inspiring people to be healthy, just wait and see. If that is possible, I will do it.
What is perfection? The classic sculpted Michelangelo's David, or the Farnese Hercules, the massive, more developed look? As the aesthetics of the body have changed, so have the physiques.
Now, bodybuilding has always been dominated by the heavily massive developed physique.
Today on stage, you have to be as big as you can be, as muscular as you can be, as ripped you can be, and as freaky as you can be. You have to be like that, otherwise you're not going to win the competition.
I'm the leanest guy to ever win the Mr. Olympia contest, especially 3 times. When I won it, at 5'9", I weighed 190, between 185 and 190. Today in bodybuilding competition, if you're not 250, you're considered thin.
When you go to competition like the Mr. Olympia competition, you want to see guys looking freaky. You want to see the bigger guy come out, the 22-inch arm. Holy mackerel, look at it, boom, boom, flexing, rocking the whole stage. People getting fired up. They want to see that. That's what it takes in bodybuilding. People want to see those guys looking so freaky. The audience loves it.
And now for the last 16 years, it's been the massive trend. Nobody is concentrating on developing symmetry of proportion, shape, and definition anymore.
If you take a bunch of guys, like 20 guys that weigh 190 pounds, 200 pounds of beautiful symmetry, you're going to get this. Because people want to see the big guy. They want to get excited to see the huge muscles like a cartoon.
Just as the physiques of the body have changed, so has the science of lifting weights. Early on, weightlifters and fitness enthusiasts utilized free weights, commonly called barbells and dumbbells. Machines were developed to replicate weightlifting exercises. They enable people to lift weight with more control and safety. A machine can isolate an individual muscle more completely through a full range of motion. With a free weight, there is room for error because of imperfect form, which can lead to injury.
I got a lot of machines because I went through shoulder surgery, which is right after my last Mr. Olympia contest. I couldn't do certain exercises. And so with the machines, I can do them. See, actually, even this lightweight is feeling pretty good.
Over time, as technology became more sophisticated, the design of the machines became more muscle-specific. Today, there is no one standard as to what works better to build muscularity, which is why bodybuilders use machines in combination with free weights.
Bodybuilding has an interesting history. The start of bodybuilding began in the 1890s with Eugene Sandow, who, by the way, is the model for the Mr. Olympia trophy.
He was one of the forerunners of developing the perfect body. He was more an all-around acrobat, strongman, and performing feats of strength.
Next was Steve Reeves in the 50s. And Reeves, in my opinion, was the most proportionate, good-looking bodybuilder of all time. He really had it all.
I used to read comic books, like the Incredible Hulk comic books. And then one day I discovered a muscle magazine, Muscle Power, and Dave Draper was on the cover. And I realized that bodybuilders did exist. So then I took it home and I learned about, you know, Mr. America, Mr. Universe, and then I got bitten by the iron bug.
I started working out when I was 13. The old Charles Atlas thing, I wanted to get muscles. I was skinny, young, I wanted to attract some girls, and I started lifting weights.
When I was a kid, I saw the Hercules movie with Steve Reeves. But when I saw that film when I was about 10 years old, I wanted to come home and lift weights. I wanted to look like Steve Reeves.
We all need heroes. That's why I'm trying to build heroes, and Arnold, I knew, could be one of them. My relationship with Arnold and him with me is the complete story of my life work. I saw pictures of him in Europe. He was strong looking and he was big and bulky. And we were running the Mr. Universe contest in Florida, and I invited him to come. And actually he came and participated in the event. He took second next to Frank Zane. And when I saw him on stage and met him, I knew that the man had an iron will, iron determination, wanted to learn badly, and I knew he loved the sport.
1968 for the Mr. Universe, when I beat Arnold, I guess that was when I made my mark in bodybuilding. And Arnold, he had just come to America. He was still very young. I think he was only about 21 years old. Couldn't speak much English and was what we call in bodybuilding smooth. He didn't have much definition.
I think I was with him for a week after the show. I showed him how to pose and how to control his muscles and so forth, and he really greatly improved because he had a lot of muscularity, but he didn't know how to show it. And I said, Arnold, would you want to go to California? If I can send you to the old original Gold's Gym where a lot of our champions were training, you would be among them all, and you would be able to pick up a lot of their training methods and ideas and so forth. And he said yes.
But Joe Weider told me, he says, he thought that Arnold would be the greatest bodybuilder of all time and for a long time.
He dominated the sport for many years. Arnold did lots for bodybuilding.
I'm looking to build a classical looking body such as the bodybuilders back in the golden era of bodybuilding, back in the 70s, back when Arnold ruled, and of course he still does. His presence is always around. Here in the gym, Gold's Venice, touching the same weights that he has touched, sends a bolt of electricity through your body. I pay $535 for this 350 square foot room, 2 blocks away from the beach, 10 minutes away from Gold's Gym Venice. I get so happy to eat my food. This is my second meal of the day. Already had my rice. This is my chicken. I wake up in the morning. I plop down from the skyrise, grab my burner, and I walk on over into the bathroom, plug it in, turn it on, come over here. I boil my eggs. I have 7 eggs, 2 whole eggs, and 5 egg whites. 3, 6, and 7. Fill up water, put it on the hot burner, and when I hear it boiling and I'm in the shower, I will reach out and turn it off. Like my fireplace. I actually put these pictures together. If someone did not believe that I was natural, they can look at my development as I progressed. There's all my homies at San Diego State. There's me right there. It's my freshman year. I wanted to be a football player, and I loved wrestling as well. The only thing that stopped me was my knees, my injuries, so the only thing that stopped me was myself. I am absolutely living my dream right now. One day, I'm gonna wake up and my dream is gonna be a reality.
The reason why I got into bodybuilding is it's a long story. It's a little different than most people. When I was growing up in high school, I was hanging around with the wrong type of guys, hanging around a lot of gang members. I wasn't really deeply into claiming territory, but you know, when we went out, if we had to throw down or fight with another crew, you know, we did. I grew up, I was a skinny kid.
I was very insecure. You'd never see me walk around with shorts or a tank top on. So I wanted to get in the gym and pump up as much as I could. You know, it took a while before I started seeing some improvements, but once you start seeing the little bulges coming out, you know, it just makes you really excited, and you just want to keep at it.
A lot of my buddies I was actually hanging out with, they were in here also, so it was kind of like a hangout for us. But as I got more into it, you know, a lot of my friends, they weren't interested, so they started leaving, but I just got hooked on it. I had genetics, you know, for bodybuilding, so I kind of steered away from the gangbanging and got more involved in the sport. This guy's got a great physique right here, definitely. He's got a lot going for him. Just keep working out. Every year I do a little guest appearance at a high school in East LA. They have a little bodybuilding club, and what I'll do is I'll come and I'll do a guest appearance, and I'll do a little spiel about what I did and what I went through. All right, let's do this. Have fun, man.
Rippling muscles on male bodybuilders inspire admiration and attract a strong fan base. However, take that same aesthetic and put it on a woman's physique, and you have a different story. The world of women's bodybuilding has always been controversial. From the decrease in size of the purse to the increase of the size of the women's physiques, it is a sport that is in transition.
The physique of the pro females have changed so much. You would look at a contest that I was in and look at a contest, you know, 2 years ago, and you'd say, this isn't even the same sport. A perfect description is when people find out I'm ex-Miss Olympia, 6-time Miss Olympia, and they go, oh, but you don't look like one of those bodybuilders that I see on TV.
Corey Everson did probably the most to keep women's bodybuilding popular because she was such a total package. She was good looking, she had a great body, and she was charismatic. And then after that, I think the winners got more and more muscular, and they had less of the total package, and now it's got to the point where there's no total package, there's just a lot of freaky muscle.
In 1985, I ran the Miss Olympia in New York at the Old Felt Forum. We sold 5,000 seats and had to turn a couple of hundred people away. But as the physiques increased, the attendance dropped.
You know, there's the argument that every athlete should be permitted to develop themselves to the maximum. But to turn a woman into a man is just a little too much.
When I first started out, my strongest body part were my legs. I came from, you know, tumbling background, track background, dance background, so I always had really genetic legs. My father had great legs.
From the first time she picked up a weight, 2 years later she was a pro.
My husband was my trainer, and we worked very, very hard to just bring out that overall package where no body part stood out from another body part.
After 3 years of trying, Kim Chizevsky won Ms. Olympia 4 times in a row. Away from the bodybuilding limelight, Kim Chizevsky and her sports nutritionist husband, Chad Nichols, live in Missouri.
I am now making a transition to fitness, and it's because basically I've achieved all I could achieve in women's bodybuilding. I had been the big muscular girl for long enough, and I just wanted new challenges.
In deciding to take the fitness challenge, Kim has shed at least 55 pounds of muscle in just over a year. To tear down that much tissue, Kim had to cut down on her protein intake, the most important muscle building block.